Igeres HaKedesh, Siman Chavav, 26th letter, the Alter Rebbe quotes the Zohar, where it says that after Mashiach comes, when the people will taste from the tree of life, which is the Zohar and the study of Kabbalah, then they won't need to study the laws of Isser Veheter, and only the Amei Ha'aretz, who didn't taste from the tree of life, they will still need to study Mishnayos in order to learn the right from wrong, the kosher from the unkosher. And the Alter Rebbe explains what this Zohar means, and how the Zohar can say that there won't be the study of Mishnah, of Isser Veheter, after Mashiach comes, when there will be a need to study it. There will be all the halachas that will be valid at that time, and people will need to know those laws. And also that the Rashbi himself, who studied Kabbalah and who wrote the Zohar, he himself would not take time out to daven, or even to say the Shema, which has Kabbalistic meaning and is based on Kabbalah and so on. He would not take time out from the study of Mishnah. He would be studying Mishnah, and that was his entire life, and he would not interrupt the study of the Mishnah, even for davening, even for the saying of the Shema, which is full of Kabbalistic meaning. So we see that the Mishnah in some way takes precedent over the Kabbalah. So what could the Zohar possibly mean by that statement? Alter Rebbe explains. But it's important to note that on Daf Kuf Mem Gimel Amud Aleph, where the Alter Rebbe says that the Rashbi himself in the Gemara in Brachos says that you're not supposed to interrupt the study of Mishnah, even for the reading of the Shema, the Alter Rebbe says that the Rashbi, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, did not distinguish, made no distinction or differentiation between Mishnah, that is the Seder of Zroyim, which is the laws of plants and brachas, or the Seder of Moyed, which is the holidays, the festivals, or Kodshim, or Tahares, which is Karbones and the laws of Shchita and so on. He made no distinction between them and the order of the Mishnayos that is called Nezikin, that has to do with civil suits. So that even the civil suits, that study also should not be interrupted, even for the reading of the Shema. But the Rebbe points out, the Rebbe Levi Yitzchak, the Rebbe's father, points out that Alter Rebbe here does not mention the Seder Noshim, the laws of marriage and divorce. So, and he explains that the reason is because from the Seder Noshim, there wouldn't be any proof. Because it's possible that you're supposed to interrupt for saving a marriage, for bringing peace between a husband and wife, and so on. You should interrupt the study. And that would not be an indication, that would not prove that the same would be true for the other orders of the Mishnah. The order of Noshim is different, is exceptional, in that peace between a husband and wife, we find that even God's name is erased. In the case of the Seta, that even God's name is erased so that a husband and wife can be reunited. In today's Tanya, for the 7th of Cheshvan, we're on Daf Kuf Mem Daled Amud Aleph. The number at the bottom of the page is 558. We're at the middle of the page and the beginning of the new paragraph. The Alter Rebbe has explained that the study of the Isser Veheter, of the laws of what is permissible and the non-permissible, is absolutely holy. It is in fact Malchus Da'atzilus, and what the Zohar is saying, that there's an element of good and bad, of Klippa, in Isser Veheter, he doesn't mean in the study of Isser Veheter, God forbid. He means in the subject, or in the articles, the stuff which is discussed in those laws. Those things are from Klippas Nega. They're either prohibited which means that they are stuck in Klippa. Or they are permissible, which means that they are Klippa but can be elevated. But the study of those laws is completely holy, is in fact Malchus Da'atzilus, and Malchus Da'atzilus is completely, entirely one with God Himself. Umashikosu Ha'arizal, and what the Arizal writes, Shaha Mishnah Yeshein b'Malchus D'Yetzira, that the Mishnah is not in Malchus of Atzilus, but in Malchus of Yetzira. It's not a contradiction. What he means to say there is that Levush Malchus D'Yetzira sheneslap shaba Malchus D'Atzilus. It's not that the Mishnah originates in Malchus of Yetzira, it originates in Malchus of Atzilus, but it descends and is clothed in the level of Malchus of Yetzira. Sheneslap shaba Malchus D'Atzilus, Malchus D'Yetzira nikra shivcha legabi Malchus D'Atzilus. Malchus D'Atzilus is called a king, and the Malchus of Yetzira is called the maid, compared to Malchus D'Atzilus. Malchus de Bria nikra Amo. Malchus of Bria, which is higher than Yetzira, there the Malchus is called Amma, which also means a maid, but a higher level. And the proof of it is Mimash Omer Ha'arizal that Mikra the Hainatera Shebiksav Hu Ba'asiya. When the Arizal says that the written Torah, which is Mikra, is in Asiya, in the lowest world, then we have to conclude that he's talking not about the origin of the Mikra, of the written Torah, but rather the descent, the level to which it descends. Because it is clearly stated in the Zayar and in innumerable places in the writings of the Ari, Shehi Teferes, that Mikra, the written Torah, is in fact on the level of Teferes, Shehu Zod Atzilus, which are the 6 emotions of Atzilus, and here he's saying that it's in Asiya. So we have to say, Elo Shemislabeshes Ba'asiya. We have to say that it means that the Mikra, the written Torah, descends and is clothed into the level of Asiya. And so the same thing would be true with the Mishnah. When the Arizal says that the Mishnah is in Malchus D'Yetzira, it means that it descends to Malchus D'Yetzira, but it all originates in Atzilus. And this is stated clearly, explicitly, in Sefer HaKavones, that it says, Mikra, Mishnah, Talmud, Kabbalah, Kulam Ba'atzilus. That all of them, the written Torah, the Mishnah, the Gemara, and the Kabbalah, all of them are in Atzilus. Elo Shemikra Mislabish Ad Asiya. But in the descent of Torah, when Torah comes down into this world, so the written Torah comes all the way down to the world of Asiya. Mishnah Ad HaYetzira, the Talmud B'Briya. And that's why in the written Torah, which comes down to the level of Asiya, there the letters themselves, the written letters, are essential, are the essence, and they are the act of writing ink on parchment. So it's Asiya. Mishnah comes down to the world of Yetzira, and that's why the world of Yetzira is the world of emotion, and that's why you have in the Mishnah, you have both the rulings that say that a thing is kosher and the rulings that say that a thing is not kosher, which is basically Chesed and Gvura. And Chesed and Gvura are from the world of Atzilus, where the emotions are dominant. And the Gemara is in Bria because the Gemara is basically the reason for the halacha, the debate behind the halacha, and reason, Seichel, comes from Bina, and Bina is dominant in the world of Bria. And then the Rebbe will go on to say that Malchus D'Atzilus itself, not only the various parts of Torah, but Malchus D'Atzilus itself, which is the level in which the Mishnah exists, the Malchus D'Atzilus itself also descends and is clothed in lower levels until it too can sometimes be referred to as Eitz Hadas, Tev and Ra. In the Hayom Yom, for the 7th day of Cheshvan, the Rebbe writes that since Torah was given, the correct order or sequence is that first we remove the arla of the body, which is the bris. Then we remove the arla of the tongue, the dullness and the insensitivity of the tongue. And then we remove the arla of the heart. And that corresponds to action, speech, and thought, because thought is in the heart. Our father Avraham, who lived before the Torah was given, he first recognized his Creator, and that's in thought. His heart was purified. Then he disseminated godliness through speech, and his tongue was purified. And finally, he was given a mitzvah of circumcision in the physical, the act of refinement. But for us, after the Torah is given, we begin with deed, and then go on to speech, and then to thought. Go on to speech, and then to thought.